Right. So let's talk about the customer journey first. Let's dive into this. And you'll remember, those of you that watched the Facebook Live from 2 or 3 weeks ago, when we did that stream, that we talked about reviews and why reviews build your brand. Now, reviews are really good to get, and obviously to get reviews, this is how the process works in business. In your world, just picture this, right? This is where your success lives or dies, right? You've got reviews that you then want to do a case study for, and you want to create content around the good work that you do, but you always want it to be from a job that you've had a review for. That makes sense, because you want it to be from a job where the customers said how good the job is in a public place. Yeah. Now, we don't get that result if we don't have a good customer journey. Now, when we're sort of early on and we're just doing fits for people, we do have happy customers, but reviews are fairly simple to get. But when we get a bit busier, then reviews can become a bit strained because the service levels drop slightly because you're just a busier person now than what you were before. So this is where the customer journey comes in, because the things that you will forget, and plus which, you can't hold everything in your brain all the time. You do need to document the process that your business follows to make sure that success for every customer is almost guaranteed. Yeah. Because your business is not a business. Yeah. So think about what a company is. A company is a group of people. So no matter what your logo is and all the rest of it, whoever's involved in that business is part of that company. Yeah. So a company is a group of people. Now, a company, a group of people, generates stuff. Yeah. Products, services, whatever it may be. In our world, it's a service with products. Yeah. Now, there's already, you can see that logistically it's a mixture of the two worlds. You normally get service-based businesses and product-based businesses. Yeah. Now, yeah, they both provide a service, but a product-based business just sends the product out and that's done. Yeah. In our world, in the installation, supply and fit world, you're dealing with products and you're dealing with a service. And, mashing these two things together is always a recipe for fucking disaster. Which is why, no matter what supplier you use, you will always have some sort of issue. Yeah. Because you just the complexities around what we do. And in any industry, any supplier in the kitchen and bathroom industry has issues. Do you get what I mean? And it's how your customer journey copes with those issues, and how you cope with those issues, because the immature and amateur people jump around from supplier to supplier to supplier to supplier, thinking that next supplier is going to not have issues. It's like dumping this girlfriend for this girlfriend, and then and then she does something wrong, and then you dump that girlfriend for that girlfriend, and then she does something wrong. It's a fucking perpetual cycle that you will never win, because you're looking for perfection and it does not exist. When you accept that how these things get dealt with are through how you manage your business, that's where the power comes in. Yeah. Because it's important, again, to take responsibility for the problem, no matter who your suppliers are, no matter who you're using and all the rest of it. Ultimately, that's your customer, and there must be a journey that you're taking them on, and being recognized for that journey is where the reviews come from. Yeah. So how well you manage that journey then gets you the recognition locally in your local area. This is where you build reviews. This is where you build case studies, and this is where you build your brand. Yeah. Because, and I hope that picture paints quite a vivid picture. And I hope it also points out, why petty people who, throw the toys out the pram and change things all the time because someone's always pissing them off, never build proper businesses and never build proper success, because they never stay in things long enough to accept that shit happens, and to be more mature about things and go, right, jumping around, picking a new, supplier, or new provider for every time someone does something wrong, your business would be constantly in teething problems all the fucking time. Yeah, because you'd be constantly changing things. Now, the customer journey sort of settles everything down. It's like, right, this is the process that we need to follow. And that's where over time, you're not selling to your customers products. Now, I said this about the 5-star reviews, you'll remember. I said to you then that when customers leave 5-star reviews, they leave reviews based on emotional things like how you were, how you conducted yourself, how you made them feel. Just go to other people's reviews and read them. Yeah. There's a lot of insight when you read customers' reviews, especially about kitchens, because all right, they say, yeah, it looks amazing, but the team and the business and the way it was handled will always get the biggest mention because it's the emotional side of it. Yeah. And when you stitch that in with your customer journey, that is where the magic happens, because that review and that case study should be part of the journey. That should not be an accident. That should be a part of the journey that's planned. Yeah. It's not something that happens by chance. It's the proper businesses do this by intent. Yeah. The people that are successful know I've got to. The only thing that's going to build my brand is good jobs, reviews, and local recognition for doing what I know I'm good at. End of. That is success at the end of the day. And like I've said to you loads of times, at events, on Facebook Lives, in person, when I've spoke to you, and this is something that you all need to stop and think about. If every person within a 10-mile radius of your house knew who you were, what you did, and how good you were at doing it, how many leads do you think you would get next month? A lot. Yeah. And that is the simplicity of how you become successful. And that is it, drop the mic. Now, if you don't see the value in the customer journey and you don't see the value in the reviews and doing the case studies and getting your website optimized, you might be great at what you do, but unless everybody else knows about it, well, yeah. And, I've always said to people as well, go on Google in your local area, find the top 5 kitchen businesses and just aim to be above them all. And I guarantee the bar is not actually that high. Yeah. There won't be a kitchen business locally to you. There may be, but it'd be very rare that there's someone near you that you can't get above. Yeah. None of these things are impossible. And it's just a matter of you aiming it over the next few years that your business is the best one there. But if you don't take note of the customer journey and you don't understand why that's important and get the reviews and do the case studies and optimize your website and, put the posts about stuff on social media and, link back to your website and have this online presence, other people will never find out. And that's where your organic leads are going to come from. And this is one of the things I want to mention now about the websites, because think about everything that I've just said there. That's what it takes to get leads through your website. Now, when people have been with us less than 12 months and go, oh, I'm not getting many leads from a website, it's like, fucking hell, mate, just hopefully people that have say these things have just listened to what I've just said, because that is when your website will generate leads, when you've got all that stuff on there and it's been there for a while and you've optimized it and all the rest of it. That's when you'll start getting some traction. And that's very rarely in the first 12 months, but you've got to put the work in early days to get it there. Do you get what I mean? So I hope that makes sense. But what your business sells, so let's go back to what we were saying before about the reviews with the customers that always have the emotional, like, the team were great and all the rest of it. What you're selling isn't kitchens, right? If you're sat there thinking tonight, I sell kitchens, I sell bathrooms, you already don't understand your business. Yeah. You don't understand your customers if you're sat there thinking that you sell kitchens and you sell bathrooms. It's like Coca-Cola. What do they say? Coca-Cola doesn't sell drinks, it sells happiness. Apple don't sell technology, they sell efficiency, or Tesla don't sell cars, they sell efficiency. Do you see what I mean? Apple don't sell technology, they sell innovation. All these sort of cheesy fucking lines and all the rest of it. Now, there's something in that for you, yeah? And the thing that's in that for you is you don't sell kitchens and bathrooms, you sell an experience. Yeah. The whole way that we teach you in the academy to do things is to sell an experience. Yeah. Now, if you see it like that and go, right, I think about your sales process, right? Think about your sales process and your website. So the minute that a customer see, in fact, let's go on the customer journey, right? Because what I'm going to show you tonight is once they've made an inquiry with you. Well, let's go right back to the beginning, right? Mrs. Jones is looking for a website, a kitchen, right, or a bathroom, whatever. Now they're searching online. They're looking, yeah, they're looking. Now, while they're looking, they're going to look for things that spike their interest, yeah, and spike the trust in feeling comfortable to reach out, yeah. Now, in the modern age, what are the prerequisites that we all want to know if we're going to reach out to someone? Well, first and foremost, the website needs to look professional, because if it looks shit, you're not going to make an inquiry, are you? You need to see that other people have used this service and that they did a good job and that those customers were happy. That's, proving what you can do. We're coming back to the value proposition here. Customers' dream outcome. Can you give them the dream outcome? What's the likelihood of achievement? Have you got reviews, case studies, and all the rest of it? Yes. So it looks like these guys are the right fit for us, right? But if something goes wrong, how do they deal with that? Well, we've got insurance back warranties and we've got which trusted traders and all the rest of it. So this is where the customer now starts to feel more comfortable thinking, right, these are now a candidate for our kitchen or bathroom. But they're going to keep looking. They're not just going to jump in with you. Sometimes they do, but they will keep looking. Then they'll have a look at your social media and they'll just have they may or may not do that. I mean, some people do. I mean, we know in our business that social media, let's say our business, our bathroom business, we don't push it anymore. We don't need to push it on social media because we use Google AdWords and Which Trusted Trader. We're only trying to sell a couple of jobs a month through that business to keep a guy busy that's been with us a long time, and plus which our social media scrolls back 12 years. Do you get what I mean? So there's a lot of fucking history there. When you're less than 12 months, 2 years old, you need to pedal a bit harder on social media to get more stuff on there. So as people scroll, they don't come to the beginning of your page, if that makes sense. So when customers are doing the due diligence and they're looking around and then they're going, right, now I'm happy to make an inquiry with this company because I've triangulated the trust. I feel like these are a good fit for us. Let's give them a chance. They go onto your website, they book a survey or however they do it, and then they come into the CRM system, and the CRM system then starts to communicate with them, emails, text messages. You turn up, do a great survey, do your designs, get the quote out, do your loom, do your better proposals, all the shit that we teach you to do. And the customer they're on a great journey. No one else. That's why your conversion rates are high, like, 40% because that's really good, and bearing in mind, a lot of you are very new to this. So that conversion rate will go up over time because you will get better at this. If we're hitting a 40% conversion rate in the academy now with, no disrespect, but fairly inexperienced people at selling, then over time, and I know some of you will go, oh, I know what I'm doing, but some don't. Some are fresh, some are new, some are literally, I've never seen a sales process before. This is the first time that they've learned it. And they're already getting off to a great start, and doing things really well. And the customers are being taken on a really good journey. Yeah. So we sort of relinquish the control of your world. Once that customer places a deposit, it's down to you at that point, isn't it? Because that's where you've got to put your big boy pants on, run your business, and wow that customer and keep that momentum going. Bearing in mind, if you've got your reviews, you've been on your website, they've watched your loom, your better proposals, you've seen how good your product is and all the rest of it. And when the job starts, you've got to maintain that. Do you get what I mean? So that's where what we're talking about tonight comes in, because what we've got to do then is we've got to make sure that everything's planned properly and we don't start dropping the ball once we're on the job or before the job starts and we start pissing around. So I hope that phrases the customer journey in the correct way. and gives you the importance of why I'm hammering this home. Because if we don't get this right, and back to the point I was saying, sorry, about what we sell, we are selling a journey. Yeah. And like Mike says there, we sell dreams. People spend a lot of money on these kitchens. This is in the top 5 biggest purchases that human beings ever make. So it is dreams. To some people, this is their dreams, and you're responsible for that. And that's why you should take it very seriously, and not just see it as like, well, anything else other than this is really important to these people. As soon as you get to grips with how important this is to people, the more passionate you will become about having a fantastic journey for that customer. And the more passionate you become about having a fantastic journey for that customer, the more reviews you'll get, the more opportunities to grow your brand you'll get. My obsession early on with my customer journey, and now, to be fair, I still have an obsession with customer journey, like the 12 steps in the academy. The rebuild of the academy happened because we realized the customer journey could be better. So we made it better because that's what we're about and that's what we want to do. We revise our customer journey all the time. Like when I say to people, I'm sorry we're changing something again, but that's our commitment to keep on improving. Yeah, that is because we spot a problem, we can make something better. We have to go through pain to get there, but we have to go there. It's like with the design service. I mean, some people will notice that the design service has sped up in the last 2 or 3 weeks more than what it was before, and things are getting better there now because we've been through pain to improve that service, and I knew it was going to get bad before it got better, if that makes sense, because sometimes to make an omelette you got to crack a few eggs, and if you're trying to change the wings of a plane while it's in the air, it can be difficult, obviously. So you just have to sometimes suck it up and improve your customer journey, no matter what. And you have to be committed to that and understand that that is where your brand and your future success lives or dies. Because without that customer journey being right, you won't get the reviews and you won't get the local recognition, and you certainly then won't have, you won't, over time, you will need to spend more on marketing and more effort in getting leads if your customer journey is shit. And eventually you will give up because you'll just feel like you're going around in circles. And one of the reasons why people do go around in circles in business, and especially tradesmen, especially most of you actually, think about when we've been at events and I've said to you, imagine for every labor only job that you've ever done, where the customer's been over the moon at the end of the job, and you haven't taken a review off that customer for your own Google page because it was someone else's kitchen. How many reviews do you reckon you would have now if you'd done that? Fucking loads, and I've asked this to loads of you, and you have said, if I'd have done that to, however many years ago, I would have tens and tens and tens, if not hundreds of reviews now. And this is where the reason why you never did that is because you've never seen yourself as someone that provides, it's almost like you've oversimplified what it is you do, even as a fitter. You've undersold yourself as a fitter because you have not understood the importance of what this kitchen means to that customer. And even if you haven't got the recognition for it publicly. And therefore, this is why as a tradesperson, you stay in a perpetual cycle of being on the tools, because you don't elevate yourself out of that situation, because you're great. The people that you're working with know you're great, but no one else does. Yeah. And this is because there's no customer journey at play that's making sure that you get reviews and that you get recognition for your skills and expertise. So I hope that phrases the importance of customer journey. That's a very detailed overview, but this is about mindset. And this is what I'm going to keep telling you all is we can't do stuff for you. Yeah. But it's my job on these Facebook Lives and in the academy And any opportunity I get, it's my job to make you think differently. Yeah. It's not my job to do stuff for you. It's my job to make you think differently. And I'm hoping now that you're thinking about what you do as a business completely different to what you did 5 minutes ago. Most of you have heard this before, but this is important. This is important stuff. Like, you are selling dreams, you're selling a journey, you need recognition for it, but the journey has to be good. The journey has to be thorough, and it needs to be, have a high success rate of getting reviews and recognition for what it is that you do. So what we'll cover then. So what are the 6 stages of a customer journey? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So, right. In the academy, for those of you in the academy, there's a video in there, and this is step 10 of the academy. I'll do a very quick screen share. I'm not going to do it for long because it's not massively relevant, but I'll just do a quick one. So in the academy, you've got step 10, your customer journey, right? And this has been updated today because ahead of doing this, I actually updated this. But managing your jobs, why it matters. If you're handling 1 to 2 jobs a month, they might buy without much tech or assistant. But even at this stage, managing the customer journey properly is essential. Why? As I've just said, more 5-star reviews, flawless project management and customer satisfaction, positive word of mouth, etc., etc., etc. But if you're aiming to scale beyond 2 jobs a month, and even if you're not, this isn't okay. This isn't saying only do this if you go to 2 jobs a month or above. But what this is saying is, if you don't address the issue of knowing what the process is and monitoring that process as you move through the jobs, when you do want to grow your business a little bit more, you will come unstuck, like I said, because all the stuff that's in your head that you do on autopilot now, you will start forgetting. You will start messing up and pissing customers off because you're just getting busier. Yeah. And that's why what we're talking about tonight isn't reinventing the wheel. A lot of it you'll be aware of, but what you won't be doing is following a proper process and a documented process. There's a book called The E-Myth, which I think I've mentioned to you before many times, but there's a book called The E-Myth, and it's about McDonald's, basically, how McDonald's has a process for fucking everything, and that's why McDonald's don't need to employ chefs to make food, because the machines bleep and all they need to be told to do is, when that bleeps, do that, when that bleeps, do that, when this bleeps, do that. And that's basically how McDonald's run. And that's why they can get low paid staff in there that aren't chefs that can do the job, because it's systemized, it's automated. Do you get what I mean? So in the academy, you do have the customer journey template, but I want to cover off what the 6 stages of your customer journey. So leads and surveys is obviously phase 1. So this is when people come into your business, and obviously first impressions matter, and ensuring that the surveys and quotes are done properly. So phase 1 is basically leads and surveys. That is what the first part of the process is about. Now, what we're looking for there is, in the spreadsheet that we give you in the academy, I won't do a screen share on this, but basically what we've got on here is things like lead source. Now, a lot of this will be in your CRM, so you can sort of say that, a lot of this is in your CRM system, but I would be tracking it in a spreadsheet as well, so I just know this is what I've got going on. Yeah, because the reason why is because the CRM system deals with sales up to a point. Yeah, but what we're talking about here is the sale all the way to the end of the job. Yeah, so for me, for what it's worth, I just take that bit of data and just stick it into a spreadsheet, so then I can see everything in one place. Yeah, and it only needs to be a basic spreadsheet, which there is a template of in the academy. In step 10 of the 12 steps. So you do have this. Those of you that are in the academy. So you've got leads and surveys, which is sort of phase 1, if you like. Then you've got quotes and follow-ups. So you've got, right, I've done leads and surveys. That's done. That's been sent. I've then got an outstanding quote to do and following up. Yeah. So phase 2 is doing that. And clear communication is obviously key to securing the sale. So the CRM system will communicate with the customer for you and do some of it and prompt you to do the bits that you need to do manually, like ring them up and have a chat and build that relationship. But there are clear defined steps in there. So quotes, for instance, making sure that you've posted the quote. So in this spreadsheet here, there's things like, have you posted the quote? Has the customer watched the Loom video? So there's a prompt in this spreadsheet to say, has the customer watched the video that I've sent them? Yes or no. If they haven't, get it, ring them and make sure that they do watch it. Proximity letters sent or neighborhood cards, making sure that you've done that on every job. What houses did you send it to? When did you do your second follow-up call, et cetera, et cetera. So, and how many follow-ups have you done? So what this is doing now, it's manually making you remember to follow up. And that's why putting them into some sort of process management is really important. Now, I don't want to say the lazy people, but I say people will go, oh, well, that's all in a CRM. I don't really need to do that. But this is you managing your customer journey as a business. This isn't you managing your sales. This is you managing that customer's journey and every customer's journey. And this is where getting good and keeping your eye on the ball is really important, and knowing where every customer is up to. Yes, it's in the CRM system, but you have to scroll left and right in the CRM system, and there's cards and bits everywhere. Do you get what I mean? Yes, it does manage it, and it's very good at managing that part of the process. But what we want here, we want like an overview of everything. And we want to be able to sit down with ourselves in probably one of our 90-minute sessions for 45 minutes to an hour and review this customer journey spreadsheet once a week, and make sure that we're happy with where every customer's up to. So then you've got the next phase in this customer journey then is design consultations in progress. So we've done leads and surveys. We either say, yes, we've won it, or we haven't, or whatever. Then we've got quotes and follow-ups. So these are the quotes that we've got outstanding. These are the ones we're following up. If we lose them, we put them in lost on the spreadsheet. It's all in there. And if we win it, then it goes into design consultations in progress. So this is the people now that have said yes to your quote, really happy with it. And then they are in the design consultation process. Now, what we've got in here is putting notes in there, like comments from the from the initial session. So what did they say? Like recording what was said at that design meeting. When did you have that design meeting? What was the quote amount? Do they want finance? Have you got a WhatsApp group set up for the design? Making sure that you've put everything in the WhatsApp group, everything's clear. And what the estimated installation date will be. So again, you're starting to plan ahead now, because if they're at design consultation stage, we know people that go to that stage, 90% of them will convert at this point. So this is where you do want to be thinking about installation dates, even though they're not placed a deposit yet. The fact they're having a design session is when you should be thinking about their installation date, because you don't want to get caught off guard. Again, you don't want them to go, right, yeah, I'm happy to go ahead. When can you fit me in? You're going, don't know. Like, no, you need to think about this stuff. If they're booking a design session, at least have an idea when you think you can fit them in. 2D and 3D plans in the WhatsApp group. Again, if you're creating a design WhatsApp group, or again, like a site WhatsApp group for the guys, make sure that, if you're not fitting it yourself, make sure that you've put everything in there for your designer or whoever. Make sure you've done a plan check your tile quantities, etc. Then you've got second quote notes, making sure that if you do a second quote, because obviously you'll always do a second quote, design amend notes, final quote accepted date, what the final quote value was, and if there was an upsell or a downsell. Now, in the academy, I do go into this in a lot more detail, so don't worry about this. But this is just the upsell downsell box is about, say for instance, you quoted the job at $5,000 and you actually ended up selling it at $7,000, and you see a trend develop. So we used to see a trend develop that every job that come through from the initial quote to the design session would normally go up by about £1,000, just naturally. And because we tracked that number, this allows you to forecast easier, because you might go, well, I've got these quotes outstanding. and I've got X amount of them, and I'm going to convert X amount of them because I know my numbers. And then I know that they're all going to upsell by £1,000 each because I know my numbers, and this is what I know about my business, you know. So that number's in there again for you to understand your business properly, because again, us understanding something intricate like that is because we track it, you know, and the CRM system won't tell you that. And this is where you've got to do a bit of the manual digging around. You know, you've got to understand that, you know, this is you running the business and not handing everything off to other people and systems to do the thinking for you. You know, this is a bit of a manual task, but it's all you soaking in the detail of your business and making sure that you understand where everything is up to. Then we've got proposals signed, deposit notes. So again, you might put something in there about, you know, how much of a deposit you've taken, all the rest of it. Then you got failed notes. So if the customer didn't go ahead, get some feedback and find out why. So then the fourth phase of this is then, right, so we've had leads and surveys, quotes and follow-ups, design consultation. Let's assume that is now finished. And now we've got a project to set up. Yeah. And this is where things start going wrong for people, because they're all excited. Oh, I've had a deposit. I've done this, I've done that. And when the project comes to setting up, i.e. they give the customer a date, and we see it all the fucking time, to be honest. And I know that people are doing this wrong, because we'll get orders off people and they go, oh, I need the kitchen when, like ridiculously soon. And you say, well, it's a paint to order kitchen. It's 5-week lead-in time. Oh, fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, Jesus Christ, you know, this is why. And this is when you hear this stuff, you know that people ain't managing the customer journey. Because if you're selling a paint to order kitchen, or, you know, there's some sort of issue or whatever, you're not leaving yourself any time. So this is probably, I would say, the most important tab in terms of making sure that the job goes well. All of these stages are important, but stage 4, projects are set up, is really, really critical. Because on here we've got things like deposit sent, receipt, things like that. Create a WhatsApp group for the guys on site, even if it's you and one other person, whoever it is. Make sure that everyone on site knows what's going on. Make sure the photos are saved into the group of the survey and everything. So before everyone gets to site, everyone can see the job. You know, because there's nothing worse, especially if you're trying to grow your business and you're employing a fitter for the first time and he's never seen the job before, and he turns up on the job and starts questioning stuff. You know, you just get them, don't you? And fucking hell, you know, what you want to do, especially when you're bringing new people in, you want, and even people that have been with you for many years can drop you in the shit. But you don't want the guys turning up on day one and then going, you know, questioning the fucking design or saying something stupid to the customer and then throwing that seed of doubt at the customer. And they're like, fucking hell, why have we just said that? So that's why you get everything in a WhatsApp group. You put the photos in there. You know what everyone's doing, and you say to everyone that's involved in that job, if you've got any questions, tell me before the job starts. Don't fucking turn up on day one and start blabbing shit to the customer. And again, I've learned that the hard way. As I've always said to you, these things aren't in here because I think they're a good idea. They're in here because I've been fucked over by idiots that turn up on your job, and again, it's my fault. You know, I'm not saying it's their fault. I employed the idiot, and then I created a situation where the idiots could thrive. But this is making sure that idiots can't thrive, and you know, you're protecting your brand and your customer journey, and you're protecting your customer. You're their person that they're paying this money to give them that dream and that journey. So, you know, don't make schoolboy errors at this point. Then we've got estimated start date, estimated, you know, timelines and stuff like that. Product delivery date. Fucking hell, this is the one everyone gets wrong, because they'll be unaware that, you know, you need to know when your product's are being delivered, and as soon as you've got your deposits, tell your fucking supplier what the delivery date is. So if there's any query, you've almost got like the golden few days. I don't know. It's a bit of an unwritten rule in my head, but once the customers drop the deposit, if you're going to move the goalposts on them, do it quickly. Yeah, don't leave it until the job's starting or about to start, and then say to him, "Oh, by the way, you know, you're just asking for it at this point, and you just that 5-star review ain't fucking coming because you're going to start pissing them off." And remember, everything's got to be geared around excellence and making sure that you're getting that 5-star review and building your brand. Otherwise, you're spending a lot of time here with the customer that you may make some money off, but if they ain't giving you a 5-star review, you've just gone around in a big circle for fuck all, because you haven't built your brand in the time that you've been doing that job, which can be weeks. You've got to think about that. Every job that you walk away from without a 5-star review is a kick in the bollocks. So, because you're wasting time you haven't got. So you can't be letting this happen. Then you've got fitter purchase order prices. Make sure that you've got your prices agreed with your fitters before the job starts. Make sure that if you've got purchase orders, they've been created. If you've got any one-off items, so on your quote, there might be something random on there that you've just picked from somewhere, and make sure you're tracking one-off items, just random bits that I might need a specialist piece of this for that, and these are the things that get forgotten. So there's an item on here for one-off items. Then you've got like making sure that your electrician's been scheduled, your plasterer's been scheduled, your tiler's been scheduled. You've arranged the skip, or is there not room for a skip? Is it a collection and you need to put the shit in the corner and get a collection? Make sure you know all these things ahead of time, because again, they've just had a brand new driveway laid. It might not be the best idea to put a fucking 8-yard skip on it, and make sure that you're asking these questions ahead of time. All these prompts in here, make sure that you're not going to make any silly mistakes. And some of it won't be obvious. Like people have mentioned, having a date for your plasterer and having a date for your electrician. We all know that we wait until the week before the job and start fucking scrambling around. And that's not a way to run jobs, because the customers will be the ultimate victim, and that's going to fuck your relationship up with them. So making sure that you've got the skips organised, target completion date, make sure that you've sent your work orders to your fitters, prices are agreed, they've seen the pictures. If you've got any queries, even if the fitter wants to go to site and see the job or any of the guys, make sure that they do that. But make sure they don't say anything fucking stupid to the customer. If you've got any queries, they speak to you. Then you've got customer date confirmation. So you've arranged a start date with the customer. Make sure that that has been confirmed, and it is specific. Make sure that you've paid for all your orders. So you haven't got orders, again, because we've had this where people have said to us, where they basically haven't paid for the stuff and then they forget. So then it's like, well, the job starts next week. Well, you haven't paid for the stuff, and we're not the only supplier that people are the only supplier that people are using. So you need to make sure you've got your suppliers paid. They've confirmed delivery. If there's any back orders, you know what they are. And if there's there may be some remedials that I know shit happens, doesn't it? But just be as prepared as you can be. You will normally know when you place an order if you've got back orders. But again, shit does still happen. But again, it's just doing as much as you possibly can to make sure that things are minimized. Then we've got waste arranged. Make sure that you have arranged your waste and all the rest of it. So at that point, they're the sort of nuts and bolts of the things that need doing to make sure the job is set up properly. You've organized everything that needs to be organized. You've confirmed everything to the customer. You've kept in touch with them. We've moved the customer then ready for installation. Yeah. So then we've got projects in progress. So once the job is in progress, this is now stage 5, projects in progress. We're then looking at stuff like, I always used to say to myself and my team that I wanted all the materials on site within 3 days of the job starting. So that is what I would recommend that you do. So not like getting stuff delivered ages after the job has started. And because if there's a problem, if it's a kitchen, in reality, I used to get kitchens delivered before the job started and go and check the products. Because if you're getting a kitchen delivered when you've already ripped the old one out and there's a problem, whether it's your fault or not, remember, this is your customer, right? You're responsible for it. It's bad planning. I mean, it's not happened to me, but there has been issues where, I've seen with, people that I know, not necessarily you guys, but just where people have ripped fucking kitchens out. Something's been delivered, something's come wrong, but they've already ripped the fucking kitchen out. Now, it would be common sense to get the kitchen delivered, check the delivery, make sure everything's correct. You've reported any damages or missing items before the fucking job starts, you know. And it's almost like when, you know, if, you know, remedials happen, don't they, and shit like that. But sometimes, like, it makes me want to pull my fucking hair out, because it's like, well, what? I haven't got any fucking hair. But you get what I mean. It's like, why are we learning that there's a missing this or that, or a damage this or that, when the fucking gear's been on site for 4 days? And it's not just like it's been on site for 4 days. The job started 4 days ago. Yeah, that stuff should be picked up before that old kitchen is ripped out, or bathroom. We should have ideally had stuff delivered and checked the deliveries and made sure that everything's correct. And you know, because at the end of the day, no matter what your suppliers do to you, and no matter what the other circumstances are that go on around it, this is your customer, and this is your customer journey. And making sure that things are done right is up to you. And a lot of these issues are avoidable if the customer journey is managed correctly. You know, because you might say to the customer, I don't know, let's go fucking catastrophizing. You know, I don't know, he's been put back 2 weeks because the paint shop has exploded. I don't know. So we can't start the job on Monday, but, you know, we'll come up with an alternative plan and blah, 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 blah. But if you're not finding that out, you're not doing the, you know, the talking and the communicating, and you've already started the job, then there's a problem. Then, you know, you can see where that's going. And no matter what anyone who's trying to help you at the end of the phone will say, it's you that stood with that customer. Do you get what I mean? So it just, do you find the client is happy to have the product delivered early in most cases? Well, yeah, I mean, if it's a small house and it's a pain in the ass, and obviously you've got to go there and take delivery. You know, if it was a bathroom, it depends. You know, it does depend, because if it was a kitchen where they had you know, normally there's room to put a kitchen somewhere. So what I would normally do with a kitchen, not so much bathrooms, because you can always wing it with bathrooms. There's always an alternative bath or tap or something you can fucking wing. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not as passionate with bathrooms, but kitchens, I would usually get them delivered beforehand and make sure that somebody checks out you know, make sure that at least if something is missing, it's not one of the critical parts, you know, like a corner base unit or something that would really fuck you up. You know, this is just making sure that, you know, that it can't always happen. I get that. You know, some customers are funny, some houses are small. I do understand that there are circumstances where it can't happen, but where possible, you just need to make sure that you're doing as much as you can. Remember, the aim of the game here is to give the customer the best journey possible. And it won't be that you know, you'll never have a problem when you do these things, but it will be just reducing things. And if the customer sees that you have made a real effort to try and stop these problems, but something still happened, they're so much more easier to deal with, yeah, than if you're missing in battle and you're not paying attention to them and you're not keeping your eye on the job, and then they're telling you there's a problem. That's when the shit starts hitting the fan, and that's where you don't want to be. So a lot of this isn't about always stopping it from happening. It's about managing their expectations if it does happen as well. I'm not saying for a minute that we never had problems. We had fucking loads. Do you know what I mean? And some of them were created by suppliers. Some of them were created by us mismanaging. Some of them were created by the fitters fucking things up. Yeah. Some of them were created by the customer changing the mind. Yeah. The customers decided they want this. And then when you start, they change their mind. So there's so many areas that can cause you problems in the customer journey. Do you get what I mean? It can be you, your lads, the suppliers, the way you've managed it, the way that the customers change their mind. You might have misunderstood something on the design. You know, there's loads of things that can happen. But if the customer thinks that you're managing that journey really competently and you're in control, I can tell you now, they will forgive you for near enough everything. They will forgive you, and they'll probably still give you a 5-star review at the end. But if you're not managing that journey and they feel like you're not in control of it and you're not looking after them, it's fucking game over. it's game over. And this is where your brand will just implode. And this is what you can't let happen. So projects in progress, like I said, making sure, I went down a rabbit hole there of making sure that products are on site within the first 3 days, which is what I would recommend, or preferably before. Make sure that you've got, if anything's still missing after that 3 days, you know what it is. If there's anything that's going to impact the completion date, you need to be communicating that with the customer like ASAP. You need to make sure that you've got your waste collected at the end of the, obviously make sure that you've got the date in for when the skip's going to get taken off the drive. If you're going to book in an inspection, when's it going to be? Does it need a finance sign off if you're using the finance and all the rest of it? Do you need to use one of those? Then you've got completion images uploaded. You've got your warranty start dates if you're offering your 3 to 5 year warranty. And when did it start? Because obviously, if you do get customers in 2 to 3 years coming back to you with issues, then you'll probably always sort them from anyway because you're a good person. But you'll want to know that, look, you're not in warranty, but I'll do it for you, sort of thing. Depends what it is, doesn't it? But you want to make sure you're documenting that. Then you've got things like job invoiced. Make sure you sent the customer a receipt. Make sure that you've then tracked your actual gross profits against what you thought you were going to do. Now, this is the biggest one, the projects in progress, because there's a couple of boxes on this part of the spreadsheet where it says estimated GP and your actual GP. So when you thought you were going to make 3, 4, 5, 6 grand, whatever you thought you were going to make, what did you actually make? So when you're closing these jobs down, and you should be tracking this on your whip sheets as well, which we give you for when you're pricing jobs. But you should then be making sure that you've analysed the costs. There's a cost analysis box that just says, have you analysed the costs? If you lost 500 quid on this job, why did you lose 500 quid on this job? If you made an extra 500 quid, why did you do that? You've got to understand and tweak the business as you move forward. Remember, your business is a living organism. You need to keep the pulse going, yeah? And this customer journey and tracking your numbers is really important. So then the final phase, once the customer has sort of paid, you've sent the receipt, you've done your cost analysis, and you've made sure that if you fucked up the quote, you know why. Then we've got the projects to close tab. Now, what am I going to tell you to do at the end of a job here? Blog / case study about the job, social media posts about the job. Make sure you've done your video to the customer, video on the Facebook and YouTube channel. So again, if you've created your YouTube channel, upload it onto there. Ask for a review. Make sure that you've got your Google My Business post done for it as well. Google My Business, Google Images. Make sure you uploaded them up to there. If you've got a Google Photos gallery, which I do recommend you have, again, this is all explained in the video in the academy. I'm not going to go into that now. And then you do your Instagram and Facebook posts, and just basically get the recognition at the end of the job. So this is how you close a job down. There's no point, right? Listen to me now. Please let this sink in. There's no point trying to be ambitious, winning work, putting all this effort in, and then at the end of it, not getting the recognition for it. You might as well not bother, because if you're not leaving a footprint in the snow of the job that you've done, if you get what I mean, it's like, look at footprints in the snow. Like there's all the jobs that I've done. Yeah. Now, do you see what I'm saying? You've got to leave an imprint in the past of the things that you've done, and if you don't do these things, you're just going around in circles. You're just repeating the same shit all the time. You're not moving forward. You're not building anything. You're just repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And it's funny when people say to me, Aaron, I've been doing this for like 10, 15, 20 years. I'm like, all right, really? So would you say then that you are experienced in terms of there is 10, 15, 20 years worth of growth? Yeah, because if you've been in it for 10, 15, 20 years, we'd expect to see a growth line like this. Yeah, this is what being in business means, that we grow. Or have we just repeated the same year 10 to 15 or 20 times? Ask yourself that question, because that is the truth. We either repeat every year or we grow. And an experience means fuck all if you've just repeated the same year over and over and over and over again, you haven't got experience. There isn't experience there. Experience of what? Doing the same thing over and over again. No, that's called getting good at doing one thing. Yeah. Experience is about building things and learning and going and getting growing and bigger. Do you get what I mean? Now, that doesn't mean everyone needs a massive business to be really good at what they do. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if your last 4 years were the same, that's not experience. That's just repeating the same shit over and over again. I don't know how else to frame it. Now, if you were closing down every job that you'd ever done and getting recognition for your thing, yeah, your business would naturally grow. Yeah, it would naturally move forward. It would naturally be in a much better place than where it is now, because you haven't just repeated it. Even if you have repeated it to a degree, what happens is when you get the recognition for it, other people start to come to you. So you naturally get challenged by your status, if that makes sense. And this is something that I struggled with at first, because I didn't get this for a while. I created this model a long time ago, and it was a few years into it where like you turn up at a customer's house and they'd be like, "Oh, I've watched your video. Oh, you're Aaron, aren't you?" And it's like, yeah. It's just a bit weird, because I used to, do all these, doing all this, stuff around the sales process and all the rest of it, and your status starts to build in the local area because because you're getting this recognition. Now, you're just humble little you doing what you do, but when other people start to say it and recognize it and give you that backing and boost your status, other people start coming to you, so you naturally get challenged by, shit, I've got more people coming to me now, right, how do I deal with this? Well, this is where you can put your prices up. This is where you can create a lead in time. This is where you can create a better service because you're charging more money, so you can spend more time offering a better service. And that is how you grow. It's not like, people think that growing is like a conscious thing. You only grow if your status grows, and your status only grows if you get the recognition for what it is that you do. If that makes sense. Where I think that people like to think about growing a business like it's up to them. It's not up to you. Yeah. You've got to do the things that make people come to you, but it isn't up to you how successful your business is. It's everybody else that decides how successful your business is, because if it's shit, it ain't going to be successful. And that always come down to the customer journey. 100% always comes down to the customer journey. Every fucking time. There's never an exception to that rule, ever. And that's why we've experienced it ourselves, like doing the Facebook Lives, doing the events. That has pushed, sort of, if you like, that's forced us to change as a business and grow, because our status is moving up all the time. Does that make sense? So the status is doing this very slightly, so I get recognized for doing certain things, and then more people come to me, and that demands more of my business and more change, and that's how I grow. Yeah. But it's not up to me to decide that my business is going to grow. Yeah. It's up to me to create a great journey and master that journey for my customers, so more customers want to come. And that challenge is what makes my business grow, and that's what makes me and you successful. Yeah. And I hope that makes sense. Now, if we just repeated this year what we did last year and didn't change anything ever in the business and didn't always improve things, we wouldn't be experienced at what we do. We would just be repeating the same shit over and over and over again. So I do hope that makes sense. But repeating last year and any year previously does not mean that you've been in business or you have a years of experience. Even in kitchen fitting, if you just love the tools and you love fitting, you love swallowing sawdust, and that's what you enjoy, which there's nothing wrong with that. But doing that alongside actually this ambition here to do something for the future, and like I've showed you at the event, how you can retire a millionaire with an academy business, I'll do a piece of content on that soon as well on the Facebook Live. By investing the profits that you make every year into it over a period of time, you can enjoy what you do and do this as well and end up in a really happy place. And that will only come if you put the effort in and you get the recognition for being good at what you do. And that's what we're trying to create with you guys in the academy is getting that recognition and not repeating the same years over and over again. But that's only going to happen not because you've got the desire and you really want to grow your business. And I want to just linger on this point a little bit longer, because it's not your ego that decides how big your business gets. And I have experienced this a little bit in the academy with people. The ego gets the better of them because they get a bit of success because they've had the ego, right, I want to do this, I want to come in and do it. And they've had a bit of success. And as soon as the cash hits the bank, take the foot off the fucking gas. Yeah. And that is a typical sign of ego. The ego won. Yeah. Because the ego wanted money. The ego got money. As soon as the ego got money, it switched everything else off. Yeah, I've got money. But the ego is stupid. Yeah. The ego inside you is very stupid. Yeah. And that's why the ego needs to die. And I've said this a few times. Your ego will kill you in the end. It will end your life because the ego cannot drive things. It's like your erratic friend that you don't want to take anywhere, but they're always there. Do you get what I mean? And you've got to control them because, even if no matter how much money you've got in the bank, you need to work hard. You need to keep going. And, the ego will lead you down the wrong path. And we've seen that many times. So I hope you enjoyed that about the customer journey. It is in the academy on step 10. We have covered that in a lot of detail. So if you're in the academy, when you get to step 10, you'll see it there. But that is the importance of your customer journey. And I really hope that you understand at this point how important that is. And your business is a customer journey. It is not kitchens. It is not bathrooms. It is not whatever it is that you do. It is what the customer perceives. And even the customer won't see it until it goes wrong. Yeah. Because the customer has an expectation that this will just be good. Yeah. And it's almost keeping up with that expectation by making sure the journey is to their satisfaction. The ideal customer journey, the customer shouldn't even really feel. Yeah. It's like Amazon. Who's got the best customer journey in the world? Amazon. So therefore, who's the biggest company in the world, or one of them? Amazon. Why are they one of the biggest companies in the world? It's not because they have loads of warehouses and delivery vans and all that. We don't give a shit about that stuff. Yeah. We use that business because they are the best customer journey. 2 clicks and what I need is here tomorrow morning. Does it get any better? So is it any surprise then that they're one of the biggest businesses in the world? And if you want your business to be successful, you've got to think like that too. Okay. Right, so that's enough on the customer journey for now. Right, so coming on to your comments, and then I'll do some of the live coaching bits that I said I'd come on to. There's not loads of that, so we won't be on for ages. But if you've got any questions around customer journey, let me know. I will answer them. But Academy members, what I've covered tonight is just sort of expanding on what's already in the Academy on step 10 of the 12 steps. And anyone who's not in the Academy, obviously, you'll have to be in it to win it, basically, because, as I've said many times, you ain't going to do anything extraordinary, in my opinion, without the ability to supply product properly and have a great customer journey, like what I've explained tonight.